this episode home by talking about predictions for next week. Where do we think it's going? Do you guys have any expectations? Do you have any predictions? Any hopes? Ryan, do you have any they better not do this or I'm going to be pissed off? You know, uh, feelings, or where are we at with everything?
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't matter because Double R is going to take this where Double R wants to take this.
The journey you've gone on with him is so entertaining to me because I'll tell you what, after the first episode of season 2 Disney Gallery, whatever Mandalorian Gallery thing, I swear, Ryan, you were you loved that guy. You loved him. You were all about Robert Rodriguez. And and I'd heard some behind the scenes things that I was like, well, I don't know. Well, you really have kind of come full circle with him. And I'm hoping that next week he's going to bring you back another 45 degrees or something. You know what I'm saying? I think you started out at a place where you were super high on Robert Rodriguez. You've come back around, or you're halfway. I don't know how the circle works, but anyways, I think he's going to win you over again next week. That's what I'm hoping for.
You think we're going to get Spy Kids 3D Robert Rodriguez back?
Dang. Elijah Wood's going to show up as the guy. It'd be great. I'm on the same track as you, Ryan, in terms of my Robert Rodriguez vitriol at this point, which is disappointing again because the Boba Fett episode happened and I was like, that's great, what a good guy, this is exciting, this is good, I'm feeling great, he's playing guitar on set, what a fun thing. And then the first episode, he only directed 2 Boba Fett episodes or 3? Two. Yeah. The first one I was like, all right, the show's good, it's fine, and I was kind of again overlooking it, and then his episode, the next episode happened with and it was really just the damn chase, because I don't care about how they look, I don't care about all this, so it was just the damn chase, and I was like, Robert Rodriguez is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm gonna be, but again, I'm not gonna start a YouTube channel about it, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just be a good little boy and shut my mouth. And again, I live in the same city as he does, and for a while I was like, oh, I could probably make my way to Troublemaker and interview him. I could probably figure that out. I could probably do it. And now I'm like, I don't think I could lie to this dude's face. So anyway, I'm hoping that the next episode is fine, but I really, again, expectation wise, have been severely tempered to be like, all right, any action, any Rancor riding, any Cad Bane showdown, it'll all be fine. I'm sure I'll think it's fine, but it won't be as high up as I really want it to be. So it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that these, chapters 5 and 6 are probably going to be the peak of the season for me. Chapter 2 was incredible. So that's right up there as well. So I think those will be the high points, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think the story of the Pikes as a threat and everything, and that's all been maybe a little undercooked. It feels like it came out of nowhere, and so but the pieces are in place, right? They don't like each other, they're going to have a big showdown, and I think things like the Rancor riding and other stuff that we predict is probably going to happen can still feel pretty satisfying and pretty fun. So, I think it could be good. I think there's the possibility for curveballs. Not that I'm saying I necessarily want these kind of things, but I think it would be pretty interesting if Book of Boba Fett was the show that in some ways resurrected Boba Fett from death after 20, 30 years of people being like, I think he escaped the Sarlacc pit. I don't think he did. Nope. Well, this show tells us in no certain, in a very certain way, he did escape that Sarlacc pit, and then they're like, but we're going to kill him in the last episode. You know what I mean? That'd be interesting. I think that'd be interesting. I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm not bloodthirsty. I'm not asking for it to happen, but I think things like that are, possibilities and could be interesting. The one thing I almost don't want to say it out loud, but I'm sure some of us are thinking it, wondering, I think it's an interesting choice to be like, Grogu, what choice will you make? What will you do in chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, which has a whole nother episode left? And if it's really just to supposed to whet our appetite for season 3 of Mandalorian, it seems like putting it in the second to last episode of Book of Boba Fett, maybe is a surprising call. And I just wonder if there's any chance that old Grogu and Luke show up in the finale next week. It seems like it would be you'd have to try really hard to make that happen, and it wouldn't quite make all the sense in the world. But like, man, we've got Ahsoka, we've got Luke, we've got Grogu. Din went to see him in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett. Why did he do that? And are they going to be involved in some way in this season finale? Would that be a good thing? I don't, probably not so much, but
can I give my one? This is my opportunity to go on record with my one prediction.
Yes.
For the finale. This is it. And if it doesn't happen, it's whatever. But I mentioned earlier the animatics of Cad Bane shooting Boba, right? They have the standoff, very similar to kind of the Cobb Vanth showdown from the last episode. And that's how Boba gets his dent in the helmet, right? That's the whole point of the thing. And it's very cool and very interesting. And there's part of me, and I'm not trying to like get myself psyched up for it or anything, but there's part of me that's like, I wonder if we will get a flashback to that. They will recreate it in live action. And I wonder if they will get Daniel Logan to play a younger Boba Fett. And they will do like the first time Cad and Boba showdown, and then either show the next time they showdown, which is this episode, or they use it as a framing device or something. That's my only prediction. I think it'd be very cool. But that's it. If it doesn't happen, I'll be fine. And I'm not going to, again, make a YouTube channel about it. But it could be interesting.
Make it your whole personality on Twitter, being mad about that not happening.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Ryan, I would
have one.
Oh yeah, go.
I have one. Yeah. So I was thinking, we had these discussions at the end of Mando season 2, like, okay, where do they go from here? How do they start season 3 of Mando? And I thought it was basically what I had in my head of how it was going to start was basically episode 5 of Book of Boba Fett. So they're not going to do the like Din checking in on Grogu story again to start Mando season 3. They might. People love that. But I think we're going to be moving into like the battle for the like literal planet and the battle for the soul of Mandalore. That's where the story is heading. And I think there are potential antagonists in both Bo-Katan and the Armorer there for Din, but I don't think either of them are, going to be the main villain of where the story's going. And I mean, I think we were literally told who the main villain is going to be, and it's just a matter of like, when do we come back around to Thrawn? And I could see, the Pikes have, they've kind of been chumps throughout this. They haven't felt like a threat. Like they're like low grade drug dealers, like whatever. They're like street thugs. And I think there is going to be like I think there could be a like, okay, who were you making this money for type thing, like, and then like the stinger at the very end is like either a reference or actually showing Thrawn.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm into it.
Yeah, that makes sense with like the overall Mandoverse and everything for sure. I was thinking you were going to say Crimson Dawn and Kira potentially.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going too. Ooh. But I'd be more pumped for Thrawn. But
well, I don't think. I mean, just my theory from the reading the Crimson Reign comics is I don't think Kira's going to be alive at this point. From what the comics seem to be telegraphing. So that's why I don't even really consider that. But Shizor, on the other hand,
no, dude.
Oh, that would be the ultimate.
I would pop.
What's it called in wrestling? The pop.
Yeah,
I would pop so hard. I'd pop so hard.
Dude. Yes.
Pheromone flowing. Oh yeah,
that'd be great. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm gonna be disappointed if we don't get a Shizor. That's fine. All good.
Yeah, and Brandon, you like offhandedly, jokingly referenced Han and Chewbacca earlier showing up, but it's been an ongoing gag here. I think I'm the only one that finds it funny, but at the end of every episode, I'm talking about the fact that like Han and Chewie have to show up in this show, which I kind of believed in the first couple of chapters. I was like, I think they're going to find a way to bring like Han, Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo, and Chewbacca into the show at some point. I don't really believe that now because there's only one chapter left. But then again, like, come on, Ryan, we got to get Han and Chewie in here, don't we? So that's another prediction for next week.
Nothing's off the table at this point.
I think. No.
Do you think it's gonna be Alden Han, or do you think it's gonna be Harrison Ford deepfake Han?
Definitely.
Which would be the ultimate, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say definitely with these people.
That would be the way they would sour me on deepfake Luke, is by bringing in deepfake Han. That would be.
Can you imagine that conversation with Harrison Ford?
No.
Well, I think the thing is, I think they've already had that conversation for Indiana Jones 5. I think they've already been doing it with him. So I think it wouldn't be that hard, because all those set photos that have come out, that he has the dots on his face, because I think there's going to be flashbacks in Indy 5. And so I don't think that it's that far of a thing in Harrison's mind. That's all I'll say. And I don't want it to happen. I'm not trying to like bring this upon us, but I'm just trying to prepare us all a little emotionally just in case it happens, because if it doesn't happen on Wednesday, it will happen in, when is it, a year, when Indy 5 comes out. So
sure.
That's all I'll say.
Sure. I think 2 years now, isn't it? Didn't they delay it? Like
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just wasn't it supposed to be this summer originally.
Well, it was supposed. I was going. I was reading an old. I was kind of messing with whoever, and I went to the the Indiana Jones Twitter account, just because at Indiana Jones exists, and it's always been a bummer that they haven't been using it. And if you go, it's literally like the third tweet on that account still, and it's from like 2017, the last time that they tweeted. And it's a press release StarWars.com put out saying Episode 9 is coming, Indy 5 is coming. It says Episode 9 will be coming May 24th, 20 whatever, that same year, but 6 months earlier, directed by Colin Trevorrow. And Indy 5 will be coming July 2020, directed by Steven Spielberg. And I was like, man, what an article! What an article to read now. So anyway, we could have gotten a long time ago. Also, we could have just been. We could have been over and done with it, you know. But now it's just like this weight, and I'm like, oh my god! And I'm still very concerned that he's going to transform into Chris Pratt. Like, that's still like my greatest nightmare of all time. He's going to go to the Fountain of Youth, and he's going to turn into Chris Pratt at the end. Like, oh, we'll have more Indiana Jones movies forever. It's my ultimate nightmare. So. We'll see what
that
happens.
Would be so awful. Wow, that's I
would be so mad. I'd be so mad.
Boy.
Again, I'm trying to emotionally prepare us all for all these possibilities now that I deal with on a daily basis, just as a nightmare. So
a neurotic Indiana Jones fan. Yeah, gotcha.
I think every Indiana Jones fan is neurotic in some ways. I like to pride myself on being one that accepts currently every aspect of Indiana Jones and loves every aspect of Indiana Jones. So. We'll see if that holds true in a year or whatever when Indy 5 comes out.
Fair. Brandon, I put you on the spot earlier. You know, I apologize. I put you on the spot and I asked you, are you a deep fake Luke guy? Before we go, I want to ask you, are you a bigger Luke guy?
That is one of my favorite things. I thought it was so funny. I'm definitely a bigger Luke guy. If they figure out a way to like put that in somewhere, if someone was like, I thought you'd be bigger, and someone like, I thought you'd be taller, I would be so into it. I've always wanted to start my own.
No, I was just gonna say like a remix of the General Grievous, that brilliant General Grievous dialogue. You know, like what does Anakin say to Grievous? Like, General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected.
Right. Yeah, or even like, aren't you a little too short for a stormtrooper? It could be like, aren't you a little like too big for a stormtrooper? And I'd be like, oh man, like we're in it. Like I'd be all in. Well, kind of like the Hardware Wars reference in Last Jedi. Like it would be a similar vein to that, you know?
So. Well, I think that makes a strong case for bringing in a deepfaked Han Solo in the last episode, because in order to measure Luke, you need the Han pick in there.
That's true.
Correct.
The Han shot.
Yep.
And
so good.
If there's just a scene of those two deepfake dorks standing next to each other, like Star Wars Twitter would just melt down and there wouldn't be any anymore, because we'd all just have the answers.
Which website is hosting the theory about how this deepfake Luke looks different than last deepfake Luke because this one is bigger Luke, or
Well, it is my Saturday, and I was planning on building that. So thanks for ruining that. But yeah, that and my bigger Darklighter website are both.
Well, we won't air this until you get your website live, so we'll protect you that way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't want anyone to beat me to the URL.
Or maybe one of them is Luke.
Wasn't that a theory being floated around for a moment? Like he looked that way because it's not actually Luke. Wasn't that? I forget. Anyway, that would be very funny. I'd be very into it.
Cloning.
Anyway.
I mean, if Thrawn's coming
back,
it's
a thing now.
No, seriously,
if Thrawn's coming back,
well, they Mount Tatnus or whatever was in Bad Batch finale, right? I really do think they are soft. They're soft launching a reboot of Thrawn trilogy, right? In some sense. Yeah. That's what I think Ahsoka's gonna be setting up, and and I think that's very cool and a very cool way to do it. I wonder if we'll ever get a Mara Jade or something, like an equivalent. Obviously, she wouldn't be like hooking up with Luke, but like I think we would get a Mara Jade eventually. So anyway, we'll see.
The possibilities of stuff that came out 30 years ago are endless for the future of Star Wars.
Yeah, Ryan, I was going to tease you also about the possibility of a cameo from DeBatch next week. And I mean, they need muscle. You know what I mean? So is it possible DeBatch could show up? Maybe Omega, Wrecker, maybe not the whole batch, maybe just Wrecker at least. I'm excited for. There's talk that they might like sneak in part of Bad Batch season 2 into this window between Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. And then, kind of do the other, like I'm finishing up Ozark season 4, part 1 right now. And then they're going to do Ozark season 4, part 2 later on. So think of how perfect the synergy would be if like the Bad Batch showed up in the end of Book of Boba Fett. And then like, hey, guess what? In 3 weeks, you can start watching Bad Batch season 2 on Disney Plus. Wouldn't we love it, Ryan?
You're not... I know you're being slightly facetious, and I was actually thinking about earlier. I don't know about y'all. Like I was like, oh, I don't remember like anything that happened in Bad Batch season 1. Really, like, I was trying to remember. Anyway, but now, like we're talking about theories, and your theory, like I could imagine like Omega showing up, or one of the Bad Batch showing up, and then at the end them saying Bad Batch season 3 or Bad Batch season 2. Like that is actually very. Now that's my new theory going into this. I really think that's because, like as you said, I have no editorial control over Star Wars Insider or whatever. But in Star Wars Insider, I think it said like spring 2022 or something for Bad Batch, and people were like, "Oh, look at this! Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that was a mistype. I don't know what that was. But it's not the worst theory I've ever heard. So that's all I'll say.
I love it.
It feels like a missed opportunity to set up Omega, who is like Boba Fett's sister, and like not ever have them like connect in any way.
It would be very funny. Again, the Tamora Morrison in a wig, like photoshops that are going around of Omega.
That's where your head went.
Very
I haven't seen that.
No, but what? If you're like this is a clone of Boba, right? And they're the same age or whatever, right? But they're 2 years apart. Then you would have to be like, oh, here's Omega, and it's just Tem. It's just Tem.
It's like Back to the Future 2, right? Where he's playing all the roles and he's
exactly. It'd be very cool. It would make the show so good.
You may have just made a very good argument for why Boba Fett and Omega will meet each other in the animated medium of Bad Batch season 2 rather than in Book of Boba Fett.
There we go.
That might make more sense.